Hello, my name is Steve Velez, and I want to welcome you to my childhood home, which is called the Jungle House. What you see here is growth from 1962. My father and I started planting all these different species of palms from around the world. My father was the president of the International Palm Tree Society that he's discovered in the mid-60s, and people would travel around the world, hike in the jungles, pick up the seedlings of palm trees that are not from this area at all. So my father would try to see if they could survive in the California climate. So everything you see on this property was planted either in a 1 gallon or a 5 gallon pot. And some of them grow really fast, some of them grow really slow. So coming here is something I'd like to share with people because it's like going to a tropical rainforest with species of palms from 38 different countries around the world. And I make a living playing the cello, and I got inspired to play the cello by the Beatles. And that's why you see on the floor my tribute to the Beatles, which is Abbey Road. For those who don't understand what these stripes mean, I put the cover of the album right there on a palm tree. So people are like, oh, yes, I know that picture. And then I was also inspired by going to Central Park in New York City, and I had them recreate the imagined mosaic in the center of the driveway. And I'm very grateful that I was able to find someone to help me create that, and then to find someone that could help me install it, which was a chore. So what I put here is pictures of the beginnings of the Jungle House. This is 1962. These were the very first 2 palm trees my dad planted. Those are the Mexican fan Washingtonia robusta. They're extremely hardy in California, the fastest growing palm trees. Those are the ones that you see that create the landmark of this property because they are so tall. Needless to say, I have a tremendous amount of memories and love for saving this property to keep it flourishing and making sure that it's a place where people can come, not only for plants from around the world, but I was so inspired by many things. Disneyland was a very important part of my life as I played cello for the candlelight processional right there at the train station at the entrance at Christmas time. So going to Disneyland was a lot, and we're going to see some tributes in the backyard of Disneyland. So here we are on the sidewalk of the Jungle House, and if you ever stumble upon coming here, you will see palm trees native to Brazil. This one here is the queen palm.
Yes, it is.
Yes. So this was planted in 1974 in a 1 gallon container. I'm so glad that my dad labeled everything, because we would get people from all over the world coming here and they would ask the same questions. What's the name of that palm tree? When did you plant it and how big was it? That was the main question, so they can see how long it takes for a particular palm tree and how fast it can grow. And here we have New Caledonia. So I went around and I counted 38 countries that are represented here, from Madagascar and Fiji and Hawaii and Australia. This palm tree is very unique because it's very tall with no trunk. The leaves just come out from the bottom and just basically grows straight up. And my dad was an amazing artist, so he liked variegated leaves. This is a Rainforest palm from Asia, and I've never seen a variegated Rainforest palm with 2 colors. So he loved that. There's some plants in the backyard that are also variegated. And then we have the Jurassic Park plant, which is a fishtail palm. If we come out in the street, it looks like a very prehistoric. There's a new leaf that just opened, and the leaves look like the tail of a fish.
Cool.
And then if you go to the grocery store and you buy a ponytail palm, they're usually about this big, but if you plant it in the ground, it's huge. This has been there, I think, maybe 50 years, but they call it an elephant's foot when it gets this big.
I see. Is that dragon fruit you have growing up there?
Somebody
too?
threw that there, and it started taking over the whole trunk, so I had to trim it down. It doesn't get enough sun. There was one flower that bloomed, and it was spectacular. but there's too much shade here, so it needs more sun. Okay, this is the other side of the property on the sidewalk, and we get a lot of comments. I'm part of the Mary Lou Hurd Garden Tour, which happens once a year, the first weekend in May. I was standing here, somebody is in the street, says, "Oh my God, you have a dreadlock palm tree." And I'm like going, "Oh, you must be in the Palm Society," because it's a very unusual plant. If you stand here and look up, the flower seed pods look like dreadlocks. This is a foxtail, or teddy bear palm, I'm sorry. And you'll notice the lines. This is not bamboo, because bamboo is hollowed. Palm trees are in the grass family, so it's a solid trunk. And you'll notice the distance between here and there is very wide. But then, oh, look, this is very narrow. This is the summer months where we have more daylight and more warmth, and that causes the palm tree to grow faster. And these are the winter months where the sun is not out as much. So that kind of gives you an idea. It has nothing to do with how many years that it's been there.
That's cool.
This here is called a walking tree. You see them in Hawaii all the time. It's trying to walk out on the sidewalk, and it's realizing, oh, it's hitting the sidewalk, and then just kind of trying to like, oh, I need to go in the other direction. Walking tree, very, very tall. I don't know why you don't see more of these around in California, because it's obvious it can grow outside. Never seen it anywhere else. Maybe at Balboa Park in San Diego. Okay, now we're gonna go over here. People love to hug it because you can feel the energy, and someone came over yesterday and they were hugging it. It holds on to the warmth because the sun just bakes on it all day, and it's native to Chile.
Very nice. That's a
And this palm tree here is a Bismarckia. You see them at Home Depot. This is probably the biggest one that anybody's ever seen. They're super slow growing, but they have a kind of a bluish gray tint to the leaves, which is very unusual.
It's certainly the tallest one I've ever seen. In fact, when I looked at it, the leaves are so high up there, I couldn't judge the scale. I said, I think it's a Bismarckia, but the fronds are so high, I can't tell how big they are.
Then there's another very unusual palm that's native to Afghanistan. Look at what it creates as an insulation. It's very similar to feeling cotton. So what happens, the jungle house is a hummingbird sanctuary. They take this and they make their nest, and then they collect spider webs to weave it around. And there's certain palm trees that they always use to make their nests. And here's another Bismarckia here. I go to Hawaii often. This lady, Evelyn Freed, brings me to play cello over there and just have an amazing time. And I realized that I'm trying to honor all the different cultures from around the world in one property, and I had nothing that really stood out as something from Hawaii. So I go on Facebook Marketplace, I put in Tiki poles, and I found this guy in Whittier, and I circled the ones that he had quite a few. So I circled the ones that I wanted. I drove there, I sent him pictures of the jungle house, and when I showed up to his property, I looked at his garden going, wait a minute, this does not look like a typical garden. It looked like a mini younger version of the jungle house. So when I met him, I said, wow, I love your garden. You've got palm trees here that most people don't have. And I said, did you see the pictures I sent you where these tiki poles are going? And he looks at me and he says, is it on a corner lot? And I go, yes. And he goes, is your dad Ralph Velez? And I go, yes. And he hit his forehead and he goes, oh my God, we watched the very first Schulhauser program. And because of what you and your father did, inspired me and my father to try to create our own little jungle house here in Whittier. Okay, here you're going to see something that is very unusual. I had no idea this was a thing. I've been seeing these things drop from the plant for years, and I learned that this is called a Monstera delicioso, and it looks like corn on the cob, and you can actually eat it, and it tastes like mango and guava. It's really good. I was like, all these years growing up here, I didn't know I had something so delicious.
You had edible fruit in the front
Falling
yard.
on the ground. I'm like, oh man. I do get the question, oh my gosh, your water bill must be outrageously expensive. If you realize how shady it is here, the sun doesn't hit the ground. The canopy of all these palm trees create its own little ecosystem, and things don't dry out. I think if you have a lawn, the sun's baking on it all day, drying it out. I think those people use more water than I do. It's not that much because it's a lot cooler here and a lot shadier, and things don't dry out.
It's nature's cure, right?
It's nature's cure. The answer to shade and coolness is plant a tree.
Awesome.
Yeah. This is a staghorn fern, and they grow in the rainforests of the jungles. The brown part is basically the male portion of the plant. The green leaves are the female portion of the plant. And if you look here, this is what's called the spores. That's like dust. When the wind blows, it'll fly through the air, and it's so humid in the rainforest, it'll wedge itself in the bark of whatever tree, and it'll sprout, grabbing onto that trunk. And I kind of created it. There's one over there. I gotta trim it. There's one on that side, and there's one on my my palm tree in the front.
And these you started from the seed?
No. Those are orchids.
Whoa. There's so much jungle here, Steve.
There's so much jungle. Where is it? It's somewhere in there behind.
Let's see.
Yeah, it's basically inside there. I got to.
There's so much jungle here. He's lost his own plants.
I lost my plant. But I've got one over here.
Okay.
I attached that one to that trunk.
Do you know the species?
I don't. But what's interesting is I had someone that, I have a waiting list for people that want to rent out one of the rooms, which is great. He was from Bermuda. I'm like, well, I've never met anybody from Bermuda.
Yeah.
And he goes, well, do you have a palm tree from my little island? And look here, planted in 1976, 5-gallon container. It's a sable palm, native to a tiny little island in the Atlantic.
Wow. I'm shocked at where some of these things come from. Pretty cool.
Yeah. Okay, I think it's time to go inside the house. I'd like to have my parents at the front entrance of the property because if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be here. And it's an interesting year, 1955. My father had a 1955 Studebaker. They got married in Puerto Rico in 1955. Disneyland, which is right down the street, not too far, that started in 1955. And I'm the cellist for the Hour Power TV program that was filmed at the Crystal Cathedral that started in 1955. Very interesting year. And this is my father when he was 18. He got into bodybuilding. This is a little plaque I have for Martine. He's been living here for 10 years, helping me chop up the leaves when they fall from way above. That's me when I was 17, walking down the driveway. They used this picture in Sunset magazine. Okay, now we're going to look at the art gallery. This is the place where I made to show people how talented my dad was, not only in paintings, but in sculptures. And the top of the piano, those were made by my father. The sun, those oil paintings are pictures of or replicas of Puerto Rico. That's where my mom lived, on that street. And I just got back from Egypt a week ago, and as soon as I go on Facebook Marketplace, I played for the grand opening of the Grand Egyptian Museum. What an honor it was that I got to represent America. There were 78 countries that were represented from the musicians in the orchestra. And I found this incredible CD holder, and I have my CDs in there. But nobody has CD players anymore, so hopefully they'll become collector's item. You never know. That painting over there was in an envelope in my dad's closet. He never framed it. And when I pulled it out of the envelope, he wrote on the back, my first oil painting, age 11, 1944. He put the year, I think it was January 16th.
My mom's birthday.
Oh, really?
Not 44, but the day.
1944. Oh my God.
Yeah, January 16th.
Yeah, so this is the museum part of artwork. This is interesting. My dad was so in love with Puerto Rico because it had palm trees and warmth. So he did this in 1954 with colored pencil, and then he challenged himself to do it with watercolor a year later. This was done 1955. He put the date, and it's much more challenging to do watercolor. So it's basically the same picture with two different modalities of.
And I see something that caught my eye right here.
I know.
Look at that.
I found someone that recreated the actual original sign of the Jungle Cruise at Disneyland because I loved that ride when I was a kid. I still love it. And
yeah, don't we all?
so the backyard is representing quite a few different things of Disneyland, and we'll go ahead and take you there. But before I'm going to show you that there is a book that I created to show people, you know, because he was so modest about his art. So I created a book with all the different paintings that he did, all in one book. So,
oh, cool. Is that available somewhere?
Yeah, just message me, Venmo me, and then I can ship one out to you.
Okay.
No problem. Okay, should we go to the Jungle Cruise? This is the backyard, and it all started with my dad finding a hippopotamus, and we put it in the pond just like at the ride. I found an elephant, and I kind of did a lot of different things. So if you stand here, there's Henrietta Hippo, and there's Dumbo, and then I found a mermaid to represent the Little Mermaid.
So this is the ode to the Jungle Cruise here.
Exactly.
100%. Oh.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Watch out.
Do I see maybe a little something about pirates?
Yo-ho, yo-ho.
You got inspired.
I got inspired, and I go on Facebook, and I'm like, who has signs of Pirates of the Caribbean? And I found that's the actual original replica of the sign. Those are made from sea urchins and Spanish moss and tillandsias.
Yeah, little tillandsia jellyfish.
Yes.
Looking things here.
Yeah.
I see a bird, a toucan here.
Yes.
You must like the Tiki room as well.
Right, there's another toucan there. Oh, this is an unusual flower. This is called the Dutchman's pipe. My friend Gail from the Garden of Oz introduced me to this plant, and I found one probably 10 years ago. But it's spectacular.
That is wild.
Yeah, it's almost very Avatar looking.
Wow. And that grows on a vine that's on this...
It's planted here. I planted that around 10 years ago, and I was expecting only to just cover the pole, but then it grew up on top. Here's another one dropping down right here. It's coming to the end of its season. So it's only in the summertime when it blooms. There's another one hanging there. And here's Jose. He's a lot easier to take care of. He just sits there. He's from the Tiki room. I stole him. Okay, now we're entering the Fantasyland section of Disneyland at the Jungle House. And we've got our little wishing well and my little Pinocchio over here. And then the castle with the water wheel that keeps getting jammed. There it goes. And then we have some very dangerous wild animals hiding. They will jump out at you if you're not careful. Got my little meditation corner with my Ganesh.
Oh, that's cool. I like how you did the bamboo background too.
Thank you.
That's neat. Wow. So you've, in addition to the plant life, you've brought a lot of like artistic, characteristics to it. A lot of water features, and even your fascination with Disneyland as well.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
This one here, this is a variegated monstera, which is very unusual. See the white?
Yeah, for sure.
I found out that it needs more sunlight to go more variegated, so I need to trim that vine that's causing too much shade. And here's, I made a little section for my sweet dear friend, Sandy Kip, that we would go to Disneyland quite a bit. She passed away 2 years ago. I wanted to remember her in this little section. This one here is very unusual. It's called a, thank God my dad put labels on it. It's a zombie, a native to the Dominican Republic. Never seen a palm tree that looks like burlap with spikes in it. When people come from around the world to see this palm tree, it's very, very tall.
It is tall. I mean, when you look at the scale between when you look at the difference between the width of the trunk and how high it is, it's
amazing.
Tall and skinny.
So this greenhouse was created in the early 70s, maybe late 60s. This here is the last of the heliconia. Beautiful flowers. There's a couple of them growing. So we'll go ahead and go inside. It's pure oxygen in here. So we have some finches here, and I have a canary that likes to sing to us. And I made a little shrine for my father. He wanted his ashes to be here. and I found an urn with palm trees on it.
How fitting.
I know.
How fitting.
I know. This is one of my favorite palms, native to Indonesia. Or is it Thailand? Where's the label? Oh my God. Anyway, oh, it's Thailand. So that one, they use that for fans and making the roofs of huts.
You could grow anything in here, couldn't you?
Well, most things. This is the tara plant. The tara chip that you get at health food stores. The roots, they slice them up like a potato and make chips.
The chips, yeah.
Yeah. So this is an interesting palm. It does grow like bamboo, but this is the size of the trunk. The trunk will never get any bigger than this. It sends out roots and then it'll send up another palm tree in that area.
So it even grows like bamboo, doesn't it?
It does. We did have a palm tree here that we actually cut a hole and it was going through.
Really?
Yeah. So like this one here is eventually, because they never stop growing taller, I'm just buying time to see how long I can keep it.
Wow. What kind of palm? Do you know what kind of palm that is?
That one?
Yeah.
I'm sure the label's there, but it's been mulched over. There's a lot of work I got to do here.
Wow.
Okay, now we're entering the magic room of the jungle house. We built this in the early 70s, and you'll notice there's windows. My dad wanted to look into the greenhouse as he was walking up, and I said, Daddy, I want a fish tank in the wall. So I got my fish tank here in the wall with my little sunken ship. This is where we watched the Brady Bunch, Gilligan's Island, the Monsters, I Love Lucy reruns. And there was a time we had a pet toucan in the greenhouse. He died, so we ended up stuffing him so he gets to be with us forever. And my dad was so amazing. On the drive, because they said as soon as it dies, bring him to get the treatment of being stuffed. And that drive from 20 minutes, the beak went from this color to complete gray. And that shows their health. And when they die, and the guy goes, that's what happens. The colors go away. And the guy says, don't worry, we'll just repaint it. And my dad said, I'm an artist. Take that part off the bill. No pun intended. And my dad repainted it. So he made it look like the original color. So this is artwork that my dad did to recreate what the toucan looked like when it was alive.
That is crazy.
This is a mosaic that my father and I did in the late 60s. Those are little squares of a magazine that he drew on a piece of plywood. And you can see that it looks like little tile, but it's actually little pages of a magazine. So this is where I do the sound healing with cello and my singing bowls and this 44-inch gong. So we do workshops here, sound healing. So you can follow me on Instagram, Cello Steve. So you can find out what the next upcoming performance will be. And this is another incredible machine that I have here. It's called the Biocharger. And it's an invention that Nikola Tesla did in 1915. And they took that technology and created what this is today. And there's a little explanation on the wall. So when people say, what is this? That's what it is. As we get older, we are like batteries and we run out of juice, just like a cell phone. Same thing with the cells of the body. So this is basically a charger for your cells that help your body become healthier and
you have to touch
recharge.
it, or is
no,
it
you just stand next to it.
Okay. Wow, that's why.
Here's some more artwork that my dad did.
So your father worked in is this ink or?
That's pen and ink, yeah.
Pen and ink, yeah. And did your father do this?
Yes, that's the rainforest. That's El Yunque in Puerto Rico. And he drew himself on the banyan. You see that at the bottom?
Oh, that's...
To give you an idea of the dimensions of how large the rainforest is.
That's a smart move, because otherwise you wouldn't know the scale of the tree there.
Exactly.
Is this a massage table here?
Yes, I do massage as well.
Okay. And this area out here is your...
It's just a very peaceful place to come and just feel like you're in another world. Okay, now we're going to the section of the jungle house where my father had a greenhouse installed because there's so much shade and you need warmth to sprout seeds. So he says, well, there's no more room, it's too shady down below, so we put a greenhouse. But it kind of fell apart and I had to fix it and had some leaking, so I made it into a outdoor sun deck. Made it into what it is.
Oh wow, you could hold a yoga class up here.
We did. We move everything around and make it into a yoga platform.
I see another water feature there, which is very nice. And you get a nice top view. Oh my God. This is like being at a resort in Costa Rica or something, man. Isn't it?
Yeah.
Wow. And right here in Southern California. I like how you did the ropes.
Like the Jungle Cruise.
Yeah, very like, you know, kind of Gilligan's Island.
Yeah.
Looking here.
That was the whole idea. And we just finished the mango season. These are 2 giant mango trees that block the roof of the neighbor's house, which makes you feel like you're secluded up here.
Did you get the fruit off of it?
Yeah, we have to fight with the squirrels because the squirrels like to eat them.
Ah, okay. So it's a race to see who gets them first.
Exactly.
Do they like them when they're ripe?
They do.
Wow. Your monsteras are incredible, man.
Show you that it's clinging onto the queen palm. And then this is really cool. Let's see here. I always bring my clippers with me. Learned that from my dad. But look at these seeds. The actual flower, or the seeds of the palm tree. And then here, that's what it looks like. Oh, okay, there's gonna be another palm tree right where that lands.
Right? Wow.
Yeah.
Very nice. Oh, this Forsteriana has
Yes.
got lots of seeds. Do they sprout down there at the bottom once they
It takes
drop?
a long time. Yeah.
But they do.
They do.
Yeah.
Eventually.
Those are nice. Has this garden gotten any sort of formal recognition or protection from the city at all?
No, I'd love that. you know.
Yeah.
They do come and trim the trees occasionally, but if I'm not here, they just kind of skip it
Okay.
because that's a huge expense that I have to come up with. Because there's only one company that has a cherry picker that goes 60 feet high. So they get as high as they can, then he jumps on the trunk like a monkey and climbs up with a chainsaw. And then when they trim the leaves, they come crashing down. I'm like, I have lost some tender palms below.
Yeah, that's dangerous work,
It's
man.
very dangerous, but they're a great company.
All
Premier
right.
Tree Service.
Cool. Let's go see this. What's the tree service?
Premier.
Okay, so from what I understand, we're going to see a filter system for the water.
Yeah.
More jungle, Steve.
More jungle. Yeah, watch your step. So, people don't realize how important this is. My filtering system. This is the first time the jungle house has gotten this type of filtering system for all the hoses to water the plants. And what a difference. We are 70% water, and it's very important that the liquid that you put in your body doesn't have all the chemicals that come out in the city water. So that filters it out. And I noticed a huge difference in how the plants are going that have been here for years. And all of a sudden, it's a darker green, putting out more leaves, and made a huge difference.
It's something that it's taking out of the water that the city puts in, that the plants don't like.
Exactly.
Awesome.
I think this is what it is.
Look at how the leaf bases have stayed green on
It's
this.
because it's shady, and as soon as it gets higher and the sun hits it, it turns it brown.
Wow.
I know.
I mean, it's like photosynthetic stems almost. So cool.
Yeah.
I want to give Steve a big thanks for having us over to the Velez Jungle House. Thank you. It has been awesome.
Thank you.
And you have shown us how special this place is, how it started, what it's become, how you're taking care of it. You got to come see it. I'll provide the address and the contact information for Steve if you want to take a look at some of the things they do here at the Jungle House. Thank you for joining us. I'll see you again next time here on Jungle Land 805.